Welcome to Get to the Movies. Whether you're a comic book fan or not, you undoubtedly know who Batman is. Thanks largely to various iterations of the characters over several decades, new audiences have discovered the Dark Knight for their generation. Some versions have been dark and brooding, while others more closely resemble that one weird uncle who gets drunk at the Halloween party every year. Still, the caped crusader endures thanks to a gripping backstory and a severely damaged psyche that adds infinite layers to the character. And of course, let's not overlook a never-ending rogues gallery of villains. No matter who your favorite Batman is, Michael Keaton, you can't really go wrong. Come on, let's admit it, even George Clooney wasn't that bad. The movie may have sucked, but that wasn't Clooney's fault. He did the best he could with a sandwich. Listen, if some people are going to say Adam West should have the #1 spot, then surely Clooney can't be that bad. The point is, there's a different take on the character for everyone, even those who enjoy a Batusi. But what some may not know is that Adam West wasn't even the first guy to portray Batman in a live-action adaptation. He wasn't even the second. In the spirit of making sure their names aren't left out of the history books, let's take a look at the actors who played Batman before Adam West. Lewis Wilson. Now, before TV was even a thing, we had episodic serials that played at movie theaters before the main feature. This was basically TV before TV. Each serial was broken up into weekly episodes or chapters that proved popular, particularly with kids. In 1943, with the US at war, Columbia Pictures decided to do a live-action adaptation of a popular comic created only a few years prior by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. They would call it simply Batman. This was the first time we saw Batman on the screen in gray tights and an oversized mask. He was played by Lewis Wilson. Wilson portrayed the winged bat guy for 15 episodes in which he mainly fought Japanese spies trying to take control of America. No, really, I'm not kidding. The main villain, Dr. Daka, literally has a line where he says, "By divine destiny, my country shall destroy the democratic forces of evil in the United States to make way for the new order." A bit on the nose, but audiences ate this stuff up. This was World War II after all, and every villain was either a Japanese spy or a Nazi. The serial even made Batman a secret US government agent instead of a vigilante. Aside from the patriotic themes, I'm doing air quotes, you just can't see them, and cringeworthy racist slurs against the Japanese, there were elements introduced in this serial that would become permanently part of the Batman universe. Alfred's physical appearance, the use of the grandfather clock to enter the Batcave, even the Batcave itself, all of that made its first appearance here in the Batman serial. Now, Wilson was only 23 at the time, which is crazy if you think about it. For comparison, Michael Keaton was 38 when he took up the mantle, Val Kilmer was 35, Clooney 36, Bale 31, and Batfleck himself was the ripe old age of 44. I guess that makes sense, as this was 1943 and people probably had jobs as soon as they popped out of the womb. Despite being only 23, Wilson could easily pass for a guy who's been around the block. While the duality of Batman and Bruce Wayne was only subtly portrayed, he was able to bring a charismatic star quality to the role. Unfortunately, Wilson never received another chance to play Batman as it was recast in the next serial. He quit acting in 1954. And here's some bonus trivia. Lewis Wilson is father to Michael G. Wilson, famed producer of the Bond films with half-sister Barbara Broccoli. The more you know, right? Alright, let's move on to our next actor to don the cape and cowl. Robert Lowry. In 1949, Columbia created another Batman serial that was decidedly less racist called Batman and Robin. This 15-chapter serial recast everybody, including Batman himself. This time, they snagged Robert Lowry. Lowry played Batman and Bruce Wayne a bit, douchier. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. His portrayal isn't as lighthearted as Wilson's, and so seems to lend more mental baggage to the role. Same goes for the boy Wonder. Robin seems to be an older, hardened Dick Grayson, a welcome contrast to Douglas Croft's performance in the earlier serial, or even Burt Ward's take in the 60s. We also get to see Vicky Vale in her first on-screen appearance. And because apparently every guy was kind of a douche to women in 1949, the guys kind of treat her like shit. Now the plot is more interesting this time around. The dynamic duo face off against the Wizard, who's using a device that controls cars remotely. Yep, that's pretty much it. I know, it doesn't sound very interesting, but when watched in sequence after the 43 version, it feels like a giant leap forward. Plus, it has this killer Hans Gruber line nearly 40 years before Die Hard.
Where are those detonators? Talk Talk to me. Where are my detonators?
And if that doesn't sell you, maybe you're just looking for something to laugh at. How about this scene, when Batman's cape gives him hell while teaching some bad guys a lesson? And because I know you love bonus trivia, here's something for you to nibble on. Robert Lowry was born Robert Hanks and is related to Abe Lincoln's mother, Nancy Hanks. Know who else is related to Nancy Hanks? That's right, Tom Hanks. So in some sort of fathers, brothers, nephews, cousins, former roommate kind of way, Robert and Tom are related.
Wow.
Thanks for checking out Get to the Movies. If you like what you saw, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe button down below for more great content uploaded every week. And in case you didn't like what you saw, hit the subscribe button anyway so you can continue to trash each video we upload.